train to be the best we can be. In a stand and claim our sovereignty. No longer instead in mental slavery. We're living in joy and liberty. Let's train to be the best we can be. In a stand to claim our sovereignty. No longer instead in mental slavery. Living in joy and liberty. Don't you know it's World War III? It's World War III. We're warriors of light, fighting for the rights of all people to be free, free, free. It's World War III, free, free, free. World War III, release. Woo! Release. Let's train to be the best we can be. In a stand and claim our sovereignty. No longer instead in mental slavery. Living in love and liberty. Don't you know it's World War III? World War III. We're warriors of light, fighting for the rights of all people to be free, free, free. It's World War III, free, free, free. World War III, release. Thank you. Next song I would like to sing to you is a song that I know Vanessa likes this song. And it's so important. We are in this world war, this great change that we're in. And it's up to all of us to kind of find our way through. And this is what is so beautiful about what this platform is providing. And I think the first thing to kind of like think of is where do we want to go? Where in the world do we go from here, from right now? Where in the world do we go from here? What is our destiny? Oh, where in the world do we go from here? This uncharted territory. This is our chance to be really free if we stand in truth together. This is a chance to be really free if we just allow ourselves to be, and we give love a chance. Open our hearts and dream a dream together. Give love a possibility of life. Give love a chance. Open our hearts and dream a dream together. Sow a seed of love. Sow a seed of love. Humanity has responsibility to live righteously as one together, because divided we believe. greed. Humanity has responsibility to live righteously as one together, because divided we bleed. And I believe we can succeed, so let's plant some love seeds and give love a chance. Open our hearts and dream a dream together. Give love a possibility of life. Give love a chance. Open our hearts and dream a dream together. Sow a seed of love. Sow a seed of love light here today. Sow a seed of love. Where in the world do we go from here? What is our destiny? Oh, where in the world do we go from here? This uncharted territory. This is our chance to be really free if we stand in truth together. This is our chance to be really free if we just allow ourselves to be, and we give love a chance. Open our hearts and dream a dream together. Give love a possibility of life. Give love a chance. Open our hearts and dream a dream together. Sow a seed of love. Sow a seed of love light here today. Sow a seed of love. Thank you. So, where do we go from here? First thing, know yourself. It's really important to know yourself. That's where it starts. Know yourself. There is greatness in you. Know yourself, your immensity and your majesty. Know yourself as part of everything, everyone. Know yourself as love, as love. Se connaître. Le bonheur est dans toi, se connaître ton immensité et ton majesté, se connaître. Le bonheur est dans toi, se connaître comme amour, comme amour. Yourself is the greatest you seek to be absolutely you. To know yourself is the freedom you seek to be absolutely true to you. so. Know yourself. There is greatness in you. Know yourself, your immensity and your majesty. Know yourself as part of everything, everyone. Know yourself as love, as love. Come amor, come amor. I have a very short song next to take us up to the right time, and this one is you must always believe that you will achieve your dreams. It was a message that came to me very strong when in a moment of distress, and I sing this song in English and also in Mandinka because I wrote it when I was living in Gambia. It's just a very simple message. You must always believe that you can achieve your dreams. You must always believe that you will achieve your dreams. Follow the quiet voice inside. It speaks of love and shouldn't be denied. Follow the quiet voice inside. You will achieve your dreams. Niente hela hela, il cibo abetoniala. Niente hela hela, il cibo abetoniala. Il moi kabon membe kana, kana 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 membe kana. Il moi kabon membe kana, kana so 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 kana.
Thank you so much, Keisha. Thank you. And we'll hear from you again later. Can't wait. Okay. So let's bring that.
Welcome to everybody that has joined us. Thank you for being here. So, just going to run through online workshop etiquette for those that are here. Today's presentation will be recorded, so we will ask if you wish not to be seen, just to switch off your video screen and make sure that your image won't be captured on any of the footage. We'll ask, please keep your microphone muted throughout. If you have any questions, please pop them into the chat box and we'll address them throughout the workshop. There will be time for questions and answers at the end of each session. As I said, if you just pop them in the chat box, we'll be able to address them as we go along. This call is scheduled to last till around 5:30 and stay with us until the end. We're saving the best till last, so we have some fantastic offers waiting just for you if you hang around. So, just wanted to say a massive thank you to Keisha for her beautiful music. You know, she captures the moment, she captures the soul, she captures the energy of right now. So thank you, Keisha. Thank you for sharing your wonderful talent and skills with us. And I'm coming to try some hats on. I popped the link in the chat box. You can find Keisha on YouTube, her High Vibe Music. Her channel is there. So that is in there. And me, I am Layla. I'm the community coordinator. You'll find me very active on Telegram. So if you're not already in our Telegram channel, I'll pop the link into the chat box shortly. Please join us. There you can ask questions, answer questions. We're there to support you. We're in this together. So this is a journey. We're here to be here for each other. And yeah, to help each other find the way. So thank you for being here. Those that have joined may have been informed the first 10 to show up are entitled to our giveaway. Now, I've managed to get the first 3 down, Fiona, Linda and Susie. A couple more have joined us. So, oh, is that Nick?
Hi.
Well done. Hi. So, in being one of the first 10 to join, you get our Law and Commercial Liens and Useful Links resource guide, which has been prepared by Vanessa. That will be on its way to you. I'll pop a link in for those of you that weren't the first 10. You can also get access to this by clicking on the link. But the first 10, you get that guide. There's a group coaching and accountability group with Vanessa, the confidence package, value £27.99. You'll also receive a clarity call with Vanessa, 5 resource sheets to match your goals, 2 group coaching and accountability sessions, and a private WhatsApp group. So daily motivational tips and articles to keep you girls on track. So well done for showing up and well done for being you. We're excited to share these with you. So the workshop schedule for today. We've had the beautiful music from Keisha, who will be joining us again a little later on. Welcome from me. Here I am. Next, after me, I'll be introducing the wonderful Vanessa, lifestyle coach. She'll be running through the system. Following that, we'll have Denise, emotional fitness coach, taking us through your soul journey. And following that, Susie, emotional fitness coach with emotional well-being. You know, in this time of chaos and confusion, it takes a lot to stay grounded and balanced at times. So to finish off, we'll be going through your discovery map with Vanessa. And like I said, lots of goodies and lots of surprises coming at the end. So please stay with us. So the aims of today. With this first workshop, it's to empower you to demonstrate your free will through self-responsibility and self-care. What we mean by that, with the knowledge, with the information that's being shared, you have a knowing that we are in a sovereign free will universe where what we create is of our own doing. And this is where the self-responsibility comes in. Other than putting the blame on someone else, on outside forces, on the things that are going on and happening to us, when we take responsibility, when we claim it, when we own it, when we know that we're the ones that are in control, we're the ones that can affect a difference, that's when things start to change, because you're not at the mercy of what's happening to you. You can take power, you take control, you can guide where you want to go. A big part of this is self-care and being supported and feeling safe. So that's what our community is here to offer. It's a safe network of people who understand, who are going through, have been through this process, who can offer guidance and support and basically just be here for each other. You know, it is in that sharing of information, in that knowing there's someone else to speak and talk about things that you may not be able to so openly with others. It just creates that safety net. When I speak about self-care, there's also the element of putting yourself first. I think as mothers, wives, women generally, the caring nature tends to make us always put others first. But there's that moment where it's like they say, if you're on an aeroplane and you're going down, you've got to give yourself the oxygen first before you're in a position to be able to help others. But a big part of self-care is also integrity. I think this is a word that can be often misunderstood. Integrity comes from the word integer, meaning a whole number, a complete number, a whole. What this means is when your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in line, what you think, what you say, and what you do all correspond. I think for me, up until a certain point, that had been difficult in the knowing that I'd always felt a discordance in the world. Something was off, something didn't feel quite right. It wasn't until I knew how the system was working, what was going on, what life was about, that I could set that straight. But even then, it's a journey between the knowing what's going on and then taking the action and the steps and holding and standing in your truth and being confident and having the courage to own it and live that life. So part of this empowerment network is for you to grow that faith, to grow that belief, to grow that knowing, that trust, the trust in yourself, the trust in your vision, the trust in what you want to create, the trust and support from the team around you, and the trust in source, God, creator, the universe, whichever term you choose to use. It all comes together. It all comes together as one. One of the analogies that we've liked to use as part of this team is the diamond. We are all the diamonds, whether we know it or not, whether we're the diamond in the rough, you know, just waiting to be found. And when I mean found, I mean to find yourself. It's not waiting for anyone else, for you to recognize it in yourself, to be polished, to start to cut yourself so you shine a little brighter. It's all part of the journey. And regardless, whether you know it or not, whether you're in the rough, whether you're polished, you are a diamond. You are the sparkle. You are what makes the change. Also, we're going to be providing a framework to help you regain your power as a sovereign living soul. So some key points that are easy to follow, easy to access, easy routes to be able to tap into the network in different ways. So here we go. This is the journey. First in line is our lifestyle coach woman, Vanessa. Vanessa is co-founder of the Discovering You Network. So I'm pleased to welcome her up next. A fantastic woman, a fantastic friend, positivity, sunshine. If I could think of the words to describe Vanessa, it's all those beautiful things. She's also a contributor to the Empowering Small Business Network, and they are, to name just a few things, Vanessa is very active and seems to fit 100 things into her day. So I'm pleased to welcome her and to present her to the group. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Layla. That was such a beautiful introduction. I'm so honoured to be here sharing these thoughts with you. The presentation I've got prepared is called Take Back Your Power, and it's an introduction to stepping into your divine sovereignty. I just want to let you know that I am a lifestyle coach, as Layla has said. I'm a mum, I'm a grandmother, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not giving you legal advice. But the things that I will touch on with you in this presentation may be things you might not have heard before. Before I go into it, if you've got a pen and paper, this is a really good time for you just to take a moment to reflect. I've got 3 questions. The first one is, what was your main aspiration in 2020? So just reflecting back to this time last year, or March of last year to be precise. Just give you a moment to either think about that or jot that down. And if you don't feel shy and you want to share in the chat, then please share it in the chat. I also want to ask you, did you put your plans on hold in 2020? So this is your main aspiration. And if you did, I'm assuming it was because of the year that we've just lived through. The third question is, what have you done in the last 12 months to stay true to your authentic self? So the world has changed around you, but how have you changed or transformed within the last 12 months? My name's Vanessa, and I am a lifestyle coach for mums. I help busy women to feel more confident with your nutrition, your mindset, and your fitness goals. And I do that in a variety of ways. In January 2020, I had just successfully launched a new service called the Mummy and Me Club. And at the beginning of March, we were looking to expanding the service into different areas in the town where I live. Sadly, because of the situation we have been living through, by the end of March, what I had created had turned into an online event. So I was still working with the yoga instructor, and we were really making adaptations to make things work online. But I looked at my baby, who you can see on my lap. At the time, he was about 9 months old. And although I'm smiling in that picture, in the screenshot, my heart was breaking. I wanted to know what type of world was I entering my little boy into. As we can all appreciate, it was very, we were all in a time of that chaos and confusion. We didn't know what was happening. So I decided that I was going to do some investigation and find out what was really happening. I didn't want him to be living on a screen. It only takes one spark. So there was something within me. To be fair, it had started when I was 18 from information that I'd gathered from my family, from my mum especially. But I found another spark who helped my light to grow. We need to think about our core values and principles. So this is what I'd like you to reflect on as well. You need to know what you want to be able to create your own world. But, when we think about core values and principles, it might be love, respect, caring for others, but you cannot stand up for something without all the necessary information. And that's going to require a mindset shift. So this is what our Discovering You series of events will help you to do. I'm just going to move this up slightly. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you were young, you were trained to ask for permission. Can I go to the toilet? If you're working, you ask your manager if you can take time off work to have a holiday. You ask people for a raise. There's different things, different areas of your life where you feel, I'm asking for permission. But I want you to remember that you are a divine soul. There has been a mass programming agenda that has been going on for a very long time. And in this presentation, I won't be able to cover the full history. This is why we've created a workshop series so that we can actually dive deep into some of the ideas that I will be talking to you about today. The ego plays a part in where you are right now. The ego doesn't want you to change. The ego doesn't like change. But I'm asking that as you hear the ideas that I'm going to be presenting, which are not my ideas, actually, it's facts, and I'm going into some history in the presentation, you have to recognize that it's about freeing your mind first, because the world is changing and we're moving into the 5D world, and that's going to require a shift in our mindset. And as Denise will talk to us about, and Susie, the soul will go through its own journey. And my thing's frozen. Okay, so I'm just going to start talking to you now about universal divine law. So universal divine law is given to us by the creator. So that's all there is, source energy. So you may have a different word to describe source energy, but there's no law that's higher than divine law. And the present comprehension of law falls into the following areas. We have land, which is represented by common law. You may have heard about common law, particularly over the last year. We have air, which is represented by cardinal law. And we have water, which is represented by maritime law. Now, maritime law is going to become relevant as I continue my explanation. So I want you to remember that aspect of the law. The key principles of universal divine law, which, like I said, is given to us by source energy, have been inherited into what we know as common law. And if we just break it down, it's very simple. Do no harm, do no injury, do no damage or loss to other living souls. We are living in a social construct. It has been created over many, many decades and centuries. So the world you live in now, you may recognize that there is a national government, we have a local government, there are organizations such as the police, such as institutions like the NHS, and then the people. Now, it's presented as though the authority and the power is with the national government. But what I want to share with you is that under universal divine law, as I said, we get our gifts and from all that is. So divine law means that as living souls, we have inherited the earth. A social construct means that you are living, if you are listening to this from an island known as England, then that's a social construct, okay? And the living souls have the power to actually direct the national government. And the national government will give directions to the local government. And that will be passed on to institutions and organisations. I just want to quickly share the definition between legal and lawful. Lawful is about freedom. As I said, you are a divine soul. I'm going to actually give you some information which is going to help you to understand why the legal term of being found is what it is. The second workshop that we'll have in this series is all about enslavement and entrapment. So this section is going to be covered in much more details in our second workshop. Today is just to give you an overview. There's the creation of the corpus. Now, did you know that the legal ownership of all souls belongs to the Vatican since 1306? That's a very long time. This is a very long time that the world that you live in, the social constructs that you live in, has been created. What is the corpus? Well, the corpus is dead bodies at sea. And this ties into the Cascavay Trust, which I'll share some details with you about the Cascavay Trust in a moment. Now, all of the courts that you are aware of operate in trust law. And trust law is based on ecclesiastical canon law, which actually breaks down into ritualism, superstition, and Satanism. Now, what happens is when you go into the court, you are actually tricked into representing your legal fiction and not representing yourself as a living soul. So let's have a look at the Cascavay Trust. The Cascavay Trust is an act, and it was created in 1666. A little bit of history for you. What happened in 1666? It was the Great Fire of London. So I'm not going to go into the details of the Great Fire of London, but if you know anything about history, then all of the precious documents were destroyed, and the Cascavay Act was created after that. If you want more information, I've given you a reference there to where you can find it on the government's website, and we can share that link with you in the community group. So going back to your legal fiction, if you're on the mailing list, you would have received an email which was entitled Meet Your Straw Man. Now, there's a link there. We can share it in the chat with you if that's possible today. If not, it will be in the community group. And I do recommend that you watch that video. It's only 5 minutes and it's an animation video, but it really does explain that your straw man, which is your legal fiction, is your birth certificate. So sadly, when you were registered by your mother was the informer. And if you are a mother yourself and you've registered your own offspring, then you have basically become the informer. And you'll see that on the birth certificate if you look at your birth certificate closely. So this is the receipt of goods coming off a ship. But what ship am I talking about? Well, as I said, the social construct. Did you know that you've been living on the biggest slave ship in history if you're here in the United Kingdom? Think about the word citizenship. What we're talking to you about is having the power to take back your legal fiction. Did you know that it's possible to do this? Money is your bond. So let's think about that legal fiction a little closely. The legal fiction has been turned into a corporation, and this is done by the capitalization of your surname. So if you notice any letters or any bills that have come to your address where your name is written in capital, then actually the organization who's writing isn't writing to you as the living soul, it's being written to your legal fiction. Now, don't worry, like I said, we will be covering this topic further in workshop 2. I just want to let you know that your birth and energy has created the current financial system. This financial system has been carefully designed to keep you as a debt slave. That's why you go to work. Think about all the bills that you're going to work for. Going back to maritime law. Under maritime law, you have been treated like a ship that has been lost at sea. Why has that happened? Because when you were 7, you didn't claim your soul. Why didn't you claim your soul? Because you didn't know that that's what you were supposed to do. There's lots of information that have been hidden from you over the course of many, many years, and your parents and your grandparents, and it goes on and on and on. We are where we are because it's all been by design. So money is your bond. You are the chattel. As I said, you're living on the biggest slave ship in history. And your legal fiction is helping the government to extort money out of you through fines, income tax, council tax, licenses, like the television license, the driving license. If you are a driver and you have a car, just think about the logbook. The logbook has put you down as the registered keeper. That means that you've actually given the ownership to the Crown. That means that at any time, if you was to be stopped by the police and you was to get out of the vehicle, which I never suggest that you would do, that car could be compounded and taken away from you if you do not pay a fine to get the car back. It's all about getting money out of you. I just want to talk to you about how spells have been cast upon the world. The English language, I'm speaking to you in English now, but did you know that it's full of hidden spells and curses, and it's actually making the English language the international language of witchcraft. Words have meaning. If you refer to yourself as a person, you're acknowledging that you are a slave and that you're an employee of the state. Let's break this down a little bit further. So let's have a look at the etymology of the word consent, and we'll do this by breaking the word into two separate areas. Look at the first part of the word, con. The second part of the word is sent. The etymology of con is a verb. Look at how a verb is broken down. So we can see the third person presents, cons, past tense, conned, past particle, conned, gerund or present particle, conning. Persuade someone to do or believe something by lying to them. I conned him into giving me your home number. That's just one example. If you'll notice throughout this presentation, I've used the word comprehend. Now, we have been taught to use the word understand. But if you actually say that you understand, you're saying that you're standing under somebody's authority. So going back to an institution such as the police, if you've ever been arrested or if you ever get stopped by the police and they will ask you, do you understand? You never say yes, because what you're actually saying is, I stand under your authority. Another word that we must try to avoid is the word kids. Don't refer to your children as kids. They're not baby goats. Actually, I've even slipped up. Don't call them children. I'm in a learning mode myself. We should refer to our what we know as children to be offspring. So there's so many words that have been twisted and it's so confusing. This is why this workshop is called Healing the Chaos and the Confusion. Now, the resource guide that Layla's spoken about, it's the first edition that you will receive if you actually click on the link to receive it at any point that you're either here on the call or watching the recording. This resource guide will be updated to actually go into the Words Have Power section. So the updated version will be available by the end of April. So please do sign up to receive that. So in closing, I just want to let you know that stepping into your sovereignty is going to require some work on your behalf. It's not easy, it is a journey. There's things that you're going to hear about or information you're going to discover where you're thinking, surely that's not right. I might have even said something to you on this call where you're like, what on earth is she going on about? But trust me, I've done my research. And what we've prepared as part of the Discovering You series is a success framework. So we have access to supportive and knowledgeable people within the network. So if you are at the beginning of your journey, or even if you've been studying this for a while, but you're thinking, I want to go deeper into certain areas, there is enough people around us that we know and with our own knowledge where we can actually help to guide you. We have a session coming up later on in the year where we will be having experts that have very specialist areas in the law, trust law, equity, and there's like really so many other subjects that I can't name right now. But that information will help you as you step into your own sovereignty and take back your power. Information can be overwhelming. So what we will be doing as part of the network is actually structuring the information either in the workshop format, giving updates to the resource guide, and actually making sure that you have information that's presented in such a meaningful way that you can take action on it, rather than just feeling like there's so much research to do and you feel lost and overwhelmed. You will need access to practical resources as you step into your sovereignty. So these are things like signs, posters, letter templates, and so on and so forth. Again, we've got access to this information already that's already organised, and we already know from letter templates, the letter templates that are effective to provide the remedy in terms of gaining your sovereignty, or regaining, sorry. And finally, with the team that we've gathered, including Denise and Susie and other speakers and contributors that you'll meet on this journey, you'll have access to emotional support. This is really crucial because self-responsibility is key for you to actually take your power back. And you will be going through some emotions, because as you look at the information, you'll realize that the web of deceit is actually very deep, and there will be some healing that you'll need to do. And what I would say is it's got to be very gentle, because there's so much information. Remember what I said to you, that we're talking about decades, hundreds of years worth of lies and things that you thought were real actually are not real. The illusion is very, very big. So we want to make sure that as you discover things, that you have a way of releasing those emotions. So that's it from me. I could see things popping up into the chat. I don't know if I have any questions. I'm going to stop the share. Do I have any questions at all, Layla? No questions. Okay. Wow. Okay, no problem. So that was it from me. Nobody's got anything to ask me, so let's move on then, Layla. It's back to Keisha. Is she? Yeah, Keisha's still with us.
Brilliant. Thank you, Vanessa. That was wonderful. I mean, as an introduction there, there's quite a lot to take in as it is. And one thing I just wanted to pick up on what you've said is, as much as there is the practical information, and there's so many areas to discover where it comes to the law, the different aspects you've mentioned, common law, equity, admiralty, how they all tie in. Very much this journey, it's an internal one. It's that internal growth and transformation which needs or does occur at the same time, which also takes effect to affect that outward transformation. And this is where a wonderful network of people all come together, all play a part in being able to support and develop that. So with all that information you've given us, I think it's perfect timing for a music break. So I'll just wait for Keisha to pop up again. Let's have a little song, dance it out, and get ready for the next day. Thank you, Vanessa. That was wonderful.
Oh, hi. That was amazing. What wonderful information that was there you were sharing there. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you. I'm going to start with a song called Get Into the Cockpit of Your Beautiful Life, because that just, there's a few songs that kind of came to me as you guys were talking, so so I'm kind of doing a bit of a recap of what you've just been saying through in song. Into the cockpit of your beautiful life, decide where you want to go and just go there. Get into the cockpit of your beautiful life, decide where you want to go and just go there. Where do you want to go? Go dream it. What do you need to know? Go learn it. What skills do you need to have? Go train. Be the change. Be the change. The future is what you make it. You can't create wonder with your life on autopilot. Decide where you want to go and just go there. You can't create wonder if you don't focus your mind decide where you want to go, and just go there. Where do you want to go? What do you need to know? What skills do you need to have? Go train. Be the change. Be the change. Your future is what you make it. Get into the cockpit of your beautiful life. Decide where you want to go, and just go there. Get into the cockpit of your beautiful life. Decide where you want to go, and just go there. What do you want to achieve? Think about it, breathe. What do you want to achieve? Believe it and feel it, and do the work to really be it. Future is not fixed, it is constantly changing due to the choices that you make. So be the change you want to see. The future is not fixed, it is constantly changing due to the choices that you make. So be the change you want to see. Where do you want to go? Go dream it. What do you need to know? Go learn it. What skills do you need to have? Go train. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Oh, don't let inertia stop your flight. Get up and claim your life. You can do it if you try. Focus your mind and fly. Don't let inertia stop your flight. Get up and claim your life. You can do it if you try. Focus your mind and fly. Where do you want to go? What do you need to know? What skills do you need to have? Go train. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Be the change. Your future is what you make it. Your future is what you make it. Your future is what you make it. To be the change you want to see. Oh, that felt good.
What an amazing song. What an amazing message. Be the change. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And in the next song I'd like to sing is called You Are the Consciousness Governing the Universe Inside You. And I think this is such an important message to always remember that that we have it inside us. There's not something outside that's going to come and save us. It's us that can come and save us. You are the consciousness governing the universe inside you. So be mindful of it. Remember to keep control of you. Never be a dead leaf blowing in the wind. You are the consciousness governing the universe inside you. So what will you do with it? Remember to keep control of you. Never be a dead leaf blowing in the wind. You know the truth, so stand in it. Be brave, because it will save you. You know the truth, so stand in it. Be brave, be strong, because you are already the best that you can be because it's beautiful. Be strong because you are already. Keep the love fire burning, let your soul glow. Oh, you are the wish you seek, it's already within you. Everything you need, you already have. Just focus your intention on your creation. Oh, you are the consciousness governing the universe inside you. You are the consciousness governing the universe inside. You are the consciousness governing the universe inside you. So what will you do with it? Remember to keep control of you. Never be a dead leaf blowing in the wind. Thank you. This next song I'd like to sing is called Don't Be Afraid to Be Alone. Don't be afraid to be alone. Take a look at yourself instead of your phone. Oh. Don't be afraid to be alone. Take a look at yourself instead of your phone. Feel the love and gratitude for you from the earth. Oh, feel the love and gratitude for you from the universe. Oh, so don't be afraid to be alone. Take a look at yourself instead of your phone. Oh, don't be afraid to be alone. Take a look at yourself instead of your phone. Oh. Know you are loved and supported by universal powers. Know you are loved and supported, and this situation could be the answer to your praise. So take this time alone to dream. Oh, take this time alone to dream, and don't be afraid to be alone. Next one I'd like to sing to you is on the same kind of vibe. It goes like this. It's about dreaming again. I'm dreaming of how I want my life to be. I'm dreaming, seeing and feeling it as a possibility. I'm asking love divine for the means to make this dream of mine reality. Reality. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming big. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming big. I'm dreaming of how I want my life to be. I'm dreaming knowing and feeling it as a possibility. And I'm asking love divine for the means to make this dream of mine reality. Reality. I feel love light shine bright across the universe. I am loved and I love across the universe. I'm asking love divine what it means to make this dream of mine reality.
Keisha, thank you again. That was absolutely beautiful. I can say you have that magic potion of being able to put the words, the motivation, the message into the song. It is the movement, it is the action. So bless you. Thank you very much. Again, Keisha's information is in the chat. Please support her on YouTube. Please, you know, this is the music. This is our future. Thank you, Keisha.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Right, so as we continue, next I'd like to introduce you to Denise. Denise is an emotional fitness coach, also co-founder of the Discovering You Network, also founder of the School of Change. She has a wealth of experience and, you know, for those that may be experiencing some of what we may call the paranormal or other things, it's always good to know there's people that we can talk to, that understand, that we can touch base with, that we can share those experiences with and know what we're talking about. So please, thank you, Denise, over to you.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And wow, it's what a event has been so far. I found Keisha's music really emotional, and obviously with Vanessa's presentation, I know an awful lot about it, but you know, just hearing it again, it's quite shocking, and it really puts into perspective how all of this is about our soul journey, and really putting together ourselves basically back again into a space where we exist. And so I'm going to tell you a bit about my soul journey, and hopefully my soul journey will help you understand and maybe resonate with you and maybe show you how to start yours. And ultimately, the reason why I started my soul journey was to align with my purpose and power and divine source energy. That was literally why I was doing it. And I've been doing the coaching for 4 years now, helping people free themselves from their emotional pain and helping them step into their power. But before that, I was a personal trainer for 20 years. And I've always tried to be of service and help people, and always trying to do it like really help people. Like obviously with personal training, it's like weight loss, but then it never kind of felt like enough. And it didn't feel like, you know, it helped all the greater problems like obesity and heart disease and just general poor diets and cancers. And back in the day, the participation of exercise was 7%, and now it's 25%. So it's not moved that significant in the last 20 years. So my purpose has always been obvious, which is to help people. But my question has always been how am I going to make that impact? Now, over the last year, I've experienced quite a lot of changes and really started to really align with how I'm going to make that impact. But it's been a process, and for me, I feel like this last year has been a foundation of everything. And I feel like for everyone, especially, you know, living in this time, that we are all people who are going to be of service in some way in this situation, because everything is going to be changing. And so over the last year, I experienced a lot of grief, especially in the first lockdown, where I really felt within me that something wasn't right, and that I experienced grief because I knew that things were never going to be the same again. And that followed with like a lot of sadness, entrapment, and generally just losing the plot. So I was experiencing hours and hours and hours of anxiety a day, having to work through that. And it was just like, the more I worked through it, the more stuff that I came across. And it was honestly, it was quite relentless. But I would start off each day just really just showing up and trusting in the process. But deep down, throughout the whole time that I was working through my stuff, it never felt like that, just nothing really kind of felt right. As much as I was gaining clarity, I was like, after the end of the first lockdown, it did kind of feel like it was over for a period. And so you're just like, oh, okay, so, you know, what now? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe things are going to go back to normal. And it started to doubt myself. But then not long after, you know, second lockdown, third lockdown. So, but this last year has really been a chance to create and step into what my purpose is. And like I said, this has been like a foundational year for me for that. And so I feel like a lot of people have gone through that sort of shift where what they were doing before, they're not necessarily doing it. They're in a completely different space. But as the world starts to change, we need to evolve even more. So what this year has taught me is to trust and surrender, right? So this is the biggest thing. So trust in something bigger than myself. Trust in that everything is going to be okay. And really, again, it's all about divine timing, that everything that I have done or could have done or would have done, it was all going to fall into place now. And I feel like that is true for me. And I feel like, you know, in a year's time, it might be true for you too, or wherever you are in your journey. And it will be really obvious to you what it is your role will be. So I feel like this last year has been a real like sense of alignment and really stepping into my power. And this year I've been able to create, like from the start of the lockdown, a podcast, and then I started a program, Coaching Women, like a coaching program. And then I met Vanessa. We started talking about Vibrate Higher and the changes that was happening as we were talking, you know, and then the School of Change. So there's been a lot, and like I said, it is the groundwork. So it's brought me to this point, and this point is really the emotional work has played a massive role in everything falling into place, and having to sort of lean into everything that feels uncomfortable as opposed to like running away from it. And just gaining clarity on situations. And I feel like, especially, you know, during the second lockdown, that for me was a space where I actually was able to take on this information because I'd done the work. And this is why it's so important that any new information that you get, that you work on working your emotions, because it is going to be overwhelming. It is going to be a shock to the system. And so creating awareness to yourself is going to be key to almost detaching yourself from these emotions so that you can just go, okay, you know, this is how I'm feeling. It's okay because this is big news. This is going to change my perception on everything. And then just observe and bringing yourself back to that present moment. So it's really being aware of the stories, your experiences as well, and your beliefs. And I think these are the key factors that will evolve in your evolution process, your soul journey. So what is your soul blueprint? So this is your soul has a blueprint, right? And this is where you start from, right? So imagine yourself as a baby. Nothing has infiltrated this pure life form, this innocence. And then imagine you now, right? Imagine the experiences that you have had, and the innocence is gone completely. And what we're doing is we're trying to take you back to that blueprint. well, you're trying to take you back to your original source, to break through those stories, the beliefs, the experiences that have you've had. And as a soul, we are here to experience, and we choose certain experiences, and our blueprint has different levels of gifts. And so we're literally like a homing pigeon, and like Layla described, the diamond, we're trying to see the light within ourselves, and quite often it's not obvious, because all we see is the negative emotions. And once we clear those negative emotions, we start to see our true nature. But our true nature, again, is not always obvious. And we're taught, we're conditioned at an early age to add to ourselves. You need to go to school and learn. You need to, because you're not good enough. In essence, you're telling your offspring, I don't want to say kids or children, your offspring that, that as much as you're not saying it, you're saying it, right? And so the work we're trying to do is really tap into that greatness. And it's okay to be okay, which I always say, but being great is better, right? So, when you ask people, how are you doing? I'm okay. Well, I mean, for me, that's average. I want everyone to feel like, no, I want to be great. I want to be amazing. So I want to spark. I want to shine. And so getting back to that place, we need to really find out who we are and connect with our gifts. So vital force energy, that is the essence of who we are. It's the essence of life itself, right? So beyond keeping us alive, we utilize life force energy to create the experience we want. So it's a creative energy, and it's derived from source. And we're able to access this once we really understand ourselves and become in alignment. And we've all heard that sort of phrase before. So the divine soul blueprint is the underlying framework or code for accessing this vital force energy. So what are these energy centers? So vital force energy is creative energy. It's how we express our energy, and everyone has it completely differently. Well, some may have more than others in certain areas, right? So it's finding out what it is that works for you. And a lot of it can be, we have like one like primary one that is expressed, which is more obvious than others, right? But sometimes we can express it in a negative way. And just learning how to express it in a positive way. So then that creates the flow, that creates the abundance. But we really truly need to understand ourselves so that we can make the right choices for ourselves so that we can move forward and create more. Okay, so the next slide is, so these are the gifts that we can have. Divine compassion. So I'm going to go through each of them. And as I said at the beginning, I used to be a personal trainer, and obviously now I'm doing the coaching. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what a personal trainer would do, and also what I'm doing, and how now I'm more in alignment. Okay, so we all have gifts. Like for me personally, like I love interior design, I enjoy writing. I'm not a great singer, so I wouldn't do that, but like there's certain things I really enjoy. And I was good at, like, I'm good at fitness. I love fitness. But just because you're good at it doesn't necessarily mean that's you in your power, right? So I don't think I would be a really good interior designer, but I do love it, right? So let me just talk a bit about compassion. And I want you just to think about and reflect about some of the divine soul energy systems and which one resonates with you the most. And there might be more than one, which is totally normal, because again, everyone has like their primary one, and they'll have a little bit on each section. So compassion is the energy center for community, nurturing, and nature. So clients that our souls are centered in this way, or souls that are centered in this way, are highly compassionate, tolerant, and unconditional in their being. They are very concerned about family, social, and planetary causes, and they experience that we are all one on a physical level as well. So a negative experience for this energy center would be isolation, and then also not finding their tribe. So finding your tribe is really important, because that brings you into your alignment and your purpose. So there's no point showing compassion to somebody that is not interested, right? So the next divine soul energy is manifestation. So this manifestation is where, if you enjoy the physical aspects of life. So this you might be a bodybuilder, a personal trainer, a yoga instructor, somebody who loves to travel, someone who's in finance, so they enjoy investing and building on wealth, building on body, you know. So these people really enjoy that, and when they are in that manifestation, then they succeed massively. So the negative polarity of this, because everything has an opposite and positive, you know, the balance. So the negative would be ungroundedness, disconnected from the physical realm. And when they're disconnected, then everything just kind of falls behind the wayside, and they lead to lack, because they lose touch with themselves, they get stuck in their head, and then it's easy to spiral for them. So the next one is divine order. So the energy center for this is all about balance, all about harmony, all about beauty, art, law and order, perfection and peace. So these souls are experts in balance and harmony with themselves and with others. And obviously the negative aspect to that would be drama. So you might know people like that, like my husband and my mum are both divine order. And so my husband will be tidying away in certain situations. And I feel like, especially now, like where you can see the sort of like when there is disorder and disharmony, you know, you can see why people then just, you know, they switch. It makes them unhappy. The drama causes them stress. It causes a lot of intense emotions. So this is in particular with someone whose soul gift is divine order. So the next one, divine love, and it's divine love and healing, actually. And my son is divine love, and this one is primary. They are experts in being in relationships. They are natural healers. It's just something that they do. It's who they are, and their healing gift is also love and acceptance and non-judgment. So when you're in your divine gift, everything should feel easy. You shouldn't have to do anything that is difficult. So sometimes when people are, you know, that, you know, can have a conversation and somebody will walk away and feel so much better, and they're like, well, I did nothing. That is your gift, right? So really have to accept things that come so easily that, you know, sometimes when people get told what their divine gift is, it doesn't resonate with them, because they're so used to, like, I guess the way that being taught is that you have to work at something to get good at it, and not when you are experiencing your divine gift. So this energy center, when it doesn't have enough support, when they're alone, when they don't feel nurtured, will really be a massive negative for them. So with my son, and particularly when he is being negative, he is being the opposite of who he is. It's like the universe constantly smacks him in the face. Like, I've never seen anyone who gets so much karma like he does when he is being the opposite of who he is, because he will literally, like, and this happened like 2 nights ago. He came home and he was tired and grumpy. We'd been traveling all day, and he smacked his hand off his cupboard, then he whacked his head, then he hit his elbow, and I was like, Ozzy, like, calm down. He's like, I thought I was healing, I'm still sore. And I just had to bring him back down to himself and then realign. And I was like, yeah, but do you see that when you're like this, you create the opposite? And since that day, and he really felt the difference, the polarity of that, his two sense of being, he is being like a completely different person. So I mean, again, the truth will set you free. So this is all part of the growth that we're all going to experience within ourselves, is really understanding ourselves to that deep, deep level. So the next one is communication, divine communication. So self-expression and authenticity. So this is like the realm of like the teacher, someone who's good at writing, the spoken word. They have a special relationship with language and words, and they're just naturally really good at communicating. This is not my strength. And the opposite of that is if their communication just falls on deaf ears. And you know, it's a two-way street. So if somebody is talking and they enjoy talking, no one's listening, well, that is going to then make them withdraw. But the essence for them is they need to find their what's the word, community. They need to have the like-minded people to listen to them, to hear what they have to say. So that's important for them. So the divine truth. So the divine truth is the divinity of our being. It's very subjective. Our truth, everyone has their own individual truth. So your truth isn't the same as my truth. But they are very intuitive and clairvoyant, and they're drawn to the visual arts and photography, and they express their truth in that way. So they're considered spiritual warriors at heart and take a strong stance for truth to bring light to where is needed. So I feel like now is a good time for all of these people that are truth speakers to shine the light on things that need to be shone on. But the negative polarity of this is people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to know. So having to eliminate sort of situations and relationships where the truth isn't present or wanted, and that can be difficult. That can be very difficult. So divine power. So this is my power, is divine power, and it kind of explained to me when I found out. It's like, oh, this is why I'm so obsessed with power. So this is accessing like free will and choice. So this energy center is about doing and being whoever we want without limitation. And I feel like anyone who knows me, then they know that like I want to do a million things. And when the first lockdown happened, I did totally freak out, like the whole entrapment. I'm like, what? I have to stay in my own house? Like that? I didn't like it. So there was, you know, there's that sort of, you know, that for me is important, and it's important to bring about other people's awareness to their choices, their freedoms about who they want to become. And so it's important for me to share that message as well. But the opposite, the negative side for this would be obligations. So when souls feel like they have to or they should, oh, that's when it's a struggle. Like, you know, and again, this has resonated with me a lot, because I was just like, you know, when you have to get somebody a present, you're just like, oh, okay. But when you want to get someone a present, you just will, right? You go over and beyond. So, and I mean, that was the only example I could think of that. But, you know, any sort of admin things that you have to, I mean, you know, I think everyone experiences that push. So the last one is wisdom. And again, my youngest son, he is divine wisdom. We've got a whole bunch in my house. And this isn't the same as truth. This is in fact very subjective, because obviously truth is subjective, but wisdom is universal, right? So these people tend to be quite thoughtful, introspective people who are just really good at listening and very insightful and succinct with their advice, and deeply rooted in common sense and irrational thinking. And so the negative polarity of this is irrationality. They won't like situations where there is no logic and common sense. And I can imagine my son, the fact that he's only 3, if he was 18 or, you know, older, for him to experience this, I know that he would probably flip his lid. I mean, he doesn't like it when it's the wrong TV channel, let alone what? I can't do what I want. So, and you can see that with people, there's certain different, you know, ways of being that where people people respond in different ways, but we all have our power. We all have the divine source energy flowing through us, and we all need to well, I believe that we all should. And again, if we don't, that's just a choice that we make to not be in alignment, but be in abundance. But the key take-home message here is to really recognize who we are, and recognize that we're not living in life that is limited. We're only kind of taught, or it's all like conditioned to feel limited and to believe we can't do things when that is not true. So on the last slide, I just want you to reflect, and hopefully you might share your thoughts, but I want you just to question, are you manifesting what you want right now? Is this been a time period that you have manifested, or you've manifested a little bit and then not so much, or you're still trying to work things out as to what you want? And are you living your purpose? I feel like we get to a certain point in our lives where we need to find meaning, and it helps us manifest as well. If we have a purpose, then we can give ourselves direction into what we want and who we want to become. So I feel like purpose and manifesting almost go hand in hand. Going through the list of divine source energies, what gifts do you feel like you have? Which ones resonate? Which do you think is your primary one? And which other ones do resonate with you? And what has the last year taught you? And I feel like for me, it has really taught me to trust in the universe, trust in the divine, trust in myself. That's been the biggest thing, is like really learning to connect with my own guidance. And I hope that you guys get to experience that as well if you're not already doing so. Thank you very much. Have you got any questions?
Thank you, Denise. There's no questions being put in the chat box, but we'll have an opportunity at the end for anybody that wants to give some feedback or some, input into what they've discovered about themselves. That was a wonderful presentation, Denise. I mean, things that stood out for me was, like you mentioned about the power, and as mentioned, integrity, being whole, where your thoughts, words and actions are in alignment, and obligation actually comes as part of that. It's something I've been contemplating a lot, where when you're asked to do something and you don't necessarily want to, but you feel you have to, are you in fact giving away your power by agreeing to do it? If it's something you're not totally in alignment with, and you're not going to take that loving, passionate, giving energy, what are the implications energetically wise? Are you doing a disservice by in fact agreeing? But we're so sort of conditioned into obligations and duties, and so really important aspects to touch into there. I also loved how you went into the whole journey. It's very much a process of deconstruction initially, in order to then take out everything we're not to discover what we really are. And it is a process of uncovering, but it's also a kind of a nakedness almost, in getting down to the core, down to the core concepts.
Yeah, and Fiona asked about what is my divine angel, how do you find out? And I feel like if I'd found out before I'd started this process, I don't think that it would resonate with me, like power, free will. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But it has been a case of doing the emotional work, getting down to it, and then actually being in my power. I connected, and that was through the Akashic records that you can find out what your divine power is. Just wanted to make sure that. Sorry.
No, thank you. And Nick had the same comment. Way to go, Denise. That was lovely. I think I know my divine energy, but perhaps you can confirm it. So you said there, through the Akashic records, that's the way to tap in. I loved how you finished though with the questions there, Denise, as in, you know, during this year, we've all had a lot of time to consider what we don't want, how we don't want our life to be. But what do we want? Have we sat and actually thought about what we would like to be doing, how we would like to be living? That is an important question to ask. So thank you, Denise. That was beautiful. Right, on to next, the wonderful Susie. Susie is an emotional fitness coach, author of the wonderful book, You Are Enough, You Are Enough, and also contributed to the School of Change. Susie has a wealth of experience of service to humanity, of being there for people in their deepest, darkest moments. She'll hit you with truth, she'll hit you with love straight from the heart. She'll give it to you as it is, but in the way that will guide you and set you on the path. So please welcome Susie. Thank you.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me all right? Is everything okay? How do you actually move on from what deliciousness we've heard today? I mean, we've heard from Vanessa about, you know, some stuff that I didn't even was aware of. And then obviously we have Denise, who was my mentor and is still my mentor when it comes to emotional fitness. So I think I don't really want to be repeating a lot of what's been said, but I do want to say, oh my gosh, are we not just talking about energy? You know, and what is energy? It is, you know, what are emotions? They are energy moving all the time, all the time. You know, how the flow and ebb of this actual workshop has been for how many listeners we've got, and how we have to appreciate how people want to take time out for themselves and just really discover who they are. Because you know what? You know, the pandemic, gosh, if we haven't learned anything about ourselves, and if we haven't even cried, do we actually know who we are? You know, in the last year, do you know who you are? If you know, there's so much vulnerability, and we're so scared of going down to that truth of who we are, and how we have to be constantly reminded of who we are. You know, not who we are made to believe. You know, as children, if we go back to what we want is just love and affection, and how that gets scrutinized as we get older, and it really strips us off that true beauty, that true essence of who we are. You know, and I have to get straight into this, Layla. So, you know, it's really great for you to, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like on a different planet. I'm like a little kid in a sweet shop, ready to just say, oh, the juice of emotions. Oh my gosh, just let it rip open. Oh, whatever you feel it right here, right now. Because you know what? When we're in the present moment, when we're in that beauty of being in the moment, oh my gosh, nothing can hurt you. And I mean that. But, and there's a but, and we hate the but our reality is we all suffer with hurt, we all suffer with pain, and we let that cloud the beauty of what today is. So if you've already gave me a great introduction, emotional fitness, that is what I love. I love emotions. I love people. Oh my gosh. And we sometimes are in such emotional turmoil, we don't know which way to go. It's like a traffic jam within us, right? And I think you've already mentioned it. We cannot control what is going off outside, but we can control what's happening within ourselves. And that's the beauty of our emotions. Now, you may think my emotions are getting me down or whatever, and you're feeling really sensitive, but that's great because you've got that awareness of who you are and what you are feeling. So emotional fitness for me, and I will talk you through a little bit of an exercise. Life for me, I believe, is an emotional experience, but we tend to do a couple of things. One is we squash our emotions down. You know, whether we were taught as children not to talk, not to be seen, not to be heard, we've become great liars as kids. You know, we know what's going to affect my mum or my dad. I'm not going to say it because it's going to hurt them. And then we bring that out into our world. and whether that world is with having so much experience and then having to unpick it like an onion, you know. And I like to say that, you know, nobody needs fixing, nobody needs changing. We just need to give us that space in the here and now to hold whatever we are feeling with compassion, with love. Now, a lot of people will say, no, they don't know about self-love or self-care without going to the cinema or treating themselves. Well, isn't this great just to be here in the now and love what you've got coming up for you right here, right now? That is the beauty that we all have. Okay, so I've already said emotions. What are they? Oh my gosh, they can be so changing at times, but they are energy in motion and they need to move. So when you get excited, you show that excitement. But what do we do when we feel the emotions that we don't want to feel? And why I love emotional acceptance and emotional fitness is because it takes you to that place of, you know, there's just 3 steps. You know, when people come to a classroom, it's all about what are you feeling in the here and now, right? What are you feeling? Allow yourself to bring that with you. So if you're feeling frustrated with what's going on, feel that, bring it with you. Then allow yourself to feel everything that's coming up for you without labeling it, without judging it, you know, and then release whatever comes up. And we do this with children as well as adults, with any age, but even children can tell you at a small age that they're feeling sweaty in their hands, already a sign of anxiety, you know? So we have to really sit with what we are feeling and learn to embrace that and not run away from it. And I may be the queen of running away from it because that's what I've done all my life. And I could still run away from some of the darkest parts of me that I don't want to confront until I really pin myself down and say, Susie, have a word with yourself. Get this sorted, you know? So we've all got that. And then I also want to say that, you know, as an emotional coach and giving awareness on radio and books and everything about how we feel, it's really important that we look out for our mental health and our emotional well-being. So happiness coach, when people say to me, oh, you're a happiness coach, it's all about emotions. How do you do that? How do you do that? We need to learn to go back to triggering our happiness, right? We know how to trigger the negative, but do we actually trigger our happiness? Do we allow ourselves to be happy? So I'm going to tell you the truth here that, you know, from the ages of 0 to 7, all your beliefs are conjured up as a child. So everything that you've gone, you've took it on as your story. And it's all these stories and memories that hold us back when we're sitting in a space that we just want to be calm, but something just doesn't feel right within you. That's why I'm saying it's so important that we can't control what's outside of us, but control what you're feeling inside you. And I meet a lot of people that are restless within because of the control they're feeling on the outside world. Try and control what we have within us with our emotions. And also this safety element. At the minute, nobody feels safe, do they? So did you feel safe as a child? And, you know, if I asked you one thing today, it's just like, you know, even in the here and now, if you just took that nice deep breath in, and I always talk about taking that deep breath in right down to your stomach and allow it just to release. And then put your hand on your heart, which is a safe place for so many people, and ask yourself, what is it you want? What is it you want? Because so many people don't know what they want anymore, you know? And then don't make such a big deal about your life. Just be gentle with yourself and know, like Vanessa mentioned, it's subtle. Everything's subtle that we feel. What can you do today to fulfill this day? You know, what can you do for you? Not for your mom, dad, your brother, your sister, your family, you go down the family tree. No, what do you want? What do you want? You know, what's going to make the difference in your life today? not for anybody else. Because every time we think about somebody else, we are, like you say, that power's being took away. And when you think about that happiness even as a child, you know what that happiness is. Just to tell you that now, you created that when you were younger. So you know what it is. But it's the stories, it's the memories that you're holding on to that has stripped you away from that happiness. And I want you to bring that back to you, because you bloody well deserve it. You so deserve it. You're worthy of it in this here and now. So now I feel like I've gone off tangent, but I haven't. I'm just excited like a school kid, that's all it is. So I just want to say, just for 10 minutes, we've got 10 minutes, yeah? We've got 10 minutes? Right. So emotional fitness, right? The truth is, this is what starts off this inner work, right? And we have to, you know, you've got a great resource here that you're going to have people that want to champion you, and you're going to get people that want to be there for you. And what I love about emotional fitness is that, oh gosh, it doesn't matter about yesterday or 10 years ago. It matters what you're feeling now. So if I go to Denise and say, I'm really, really frustrated, come on, let it out, get it out your system. And it's fantastic. You do it in the here and now, right? It doesn't have to take ages like I used to think that, oh my gosh, I'm down there again, I'm going to go. And we do that, don't we? We believe that we're being taken back, but that's our memories and our stories that we hold about ourselves. We really identify with them. So for 10 minutes, let's just do this right here, right now. And take a nice deep breath in. So I want you to think about what we started off right at the beginning of this call, and it's all about power, bringing that power back to you, okay? So let's think about the word power, even the emotion. What comes up for you when you think about standing in your power? And I want you to allow whatever comes up for you. Do you feel that you do talk, speak and walk your truth, or do you feel that something holds you back? And all I want you to do is focus on the word power and see what comes up for you. And I don't want you to worry too much about your breathing, because you know what? How grateful are we to be breathing and having a heart that beats subconsciously without us even having to do anything. So I give thanks for that. So when you think about the word power, what's coming up for you? And I want you to go to the part of your body where you feel this power is. Because emotional fitness is all about allowing yourself to feel the sensation in your body. There's no way I want you to activate your mind and your thoughts, because we are not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. Yet we tend to believe that because we activate our mind quicker than we do the sensation in our body. And while we're on it, the emotion leaves our body within 90 seconds. But again, if I'm telling you anything, we believe so much in the stories and the memories that we hold. Now, when you think about power and you're thinking about, I can't feel a sensation, I can't feel what you're saying, Susie, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. You will feel what you need to feel. And I normally say, when it comes to emotions, there's two parts of our body that we hold our emotions to, and that's in our stomach or in our chest, in our heart. So focus on that area of your body and think of the word power. And I want you to think about empowerment on here, empowering yourself. So wherever you can feel the word power, whether it's in your stomach or your heart, allow whatever to come up and allow yourself just to release whatever's coming up. There could be a voice saying, oh, no, I'm not agreeing with this. Just be okay with it. Don't judge it. Don't criticize it. Just be there with it. And breathe through it. And at any time, if you feel intense, feel overwhelmed, just breathe through it. Breathing in through the nose and releasing whatever needs to come out through the mouth. And I want you to get to a place of really feeling that sensation of power. Are you feeling power or are you feeling powerless? And be okay with whatever's coming up for you. Just focus on that word power. And allow yourself to feel what needs to come up. If you've ever heard it, you have to feel it to heal it. That power is there, that greatness is there, and that is you in each and every one of us. And yes, the stories and the memories come up. Let them go by like clouds. Don't go into them. The whole beauty is to feel this sensation that's within your body. This may feel rushed because I have no time and never think about time. But I just want you to place your hand on your hearts, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on board today. Place your hand on your heart and know that everything is going to be all right. You're going to start trusting and believing in who you are, in the greatness in who you are. That you can empower yourself. It's all about believing and trusting in you and knowing what you can bring to your life that makes a huge difference. Just placing your hand on your heart and hearing that is powerful enough. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Layla, for giving me this opportunity to go off on one.
That was beautiful, Susie. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was deep into my heart there. I was like, you lost me for a moment. Thank you. That was wonderful. I just have a comment. Let's see. Oh, Fiona said, running away is how I used to deal with stuff too. I'm finding it easier to sit with stuff and be uncomfortable, but it can still be a challenge to do what is good for me without thinking about other people's needs. That's so true. Would you like to address that, Susie?
You know what? Sometimes we have to sit with those parts because that's where your true gems come from. You have to sit with that dark side of you, that darkness, you know. And to cut a long story short, I mean, I write in my book how I made myself homeless at 17. And there's so many dark parts of your life, especially when you want to create a family and you never had that. But you know what? Nothing is lost in your life. You're always learning something. You have to look at it as if you're learning something. Your emotions are always teaching you something. Whether you've started blaming yourself, it's teaching you to love yourself. And I know it can be a huge challenge to love yourself. But that's how you've got to look at it. And I always think to myself, I think I'm so lucky to have witnessed what I've seen and where I am today, because it's gave me the tools to create a beautiful family myself, you know, of never having that myself. I've done that. So I'm always grateful for that. And I think we need to just be easy on ourselves, because we get thrown so many challenges and we don't want to confront them. We go into some really dark places in our time, but reach out just to one person. You know, we're all hurting, we all know, but we're so afraid to actually tell somebody that we're hurting. You know, we've got to, the only way we get through this is by sharing that with somebody that's truly listening, like Denise just mentioned earlier. If you've been through so much in your life and you're saying it to people that are not listening, it's depleting you. It's making you feel so much worse about who you are. Thanks, Layla. I could talk forever, as you know.
Thank you, Susie. That's beautiful. And I think that's a big part of what we're here to offer as well. It is that support network. It is that community of people that can share the experiences, that comprehend the journey, that just know each other, are there for each other. So again, please join our tribe. If you haven't already, please tap into our inspirational Telegram community. I've popped the link in the chat. I'll do it again in a moment. So tap in, we're all in there. Put your questions in there. Come ask us, share your stories, let us celebrate with you. Let us be part of the journey. Also, I'll pop the link in again. It's already in the chat for the law and commercial liens and useful links, the resource guide. Please take this opportunity now to tap into that. There's a wealth of information there to get you started on the journey of understanding the system and trying to work your way out of it. And also, by signing up, you'll be receiving details and offers and discounts to our other events. So, you know, welcome, and we're glad you're here on the journey with us. So, your discovery map. This is the first workshop. It's laying the foundations, the introduction of what's to come. We've already set the dates of the ones to come. The next one will be entrapment and enslavement. Again, this is a topic that Vanessa has already briefly touched upon. And again, the river goes deep. There's a big rabbit hole there. So please come venture with us as we take you further to understand more about how we are, where we are, what has brought us to this stage. That will be on Saturday, the 12th of June. On Saturday, the 17th of July, how to represent yourself. It's all in the words. So if you look at how that's said, you know, if you're in a court, if you're being represented, they're representing you as something you're not. So learn about the quirks of the language, learn about what it is, how to stand for yourself, and how to represent yourself. On Saturday, the 18th of September, perceptions of lack. So again, this is, when we say perceptions, it's what you believe there to be. It's knowing that you are abundance and changing the way we look at ourselves and life. Saturday, the 13th of November, where to go from here. So that was going to be our panel of experts come in, share a wealth of information and knowledge. And Saturday, the 11th of December, who are you now? Coming back to the soul journey. Again, it's all interlinked, the mind, the body and soul. It's all one journey, even though we think that everything's compartmentalized and, you know, fractionalized. It's not, it's all one. So it's tying it all together, bringing us back to the core of who we are. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to you joining us on the journey. Join our tribe, individual workshops. Yep, so now I'd like to hand you over to Vanessa. She's going to take us further, and I'll pop those links into the chat box for you. So over to you, Vanessa. Thank you.
Thank you, Layla. Okay, so we are nearly finished, and I just wanted to reach out and say that, you know, if you're here on the live call, it's not by accident. The universe does conspire to address whatever needs or desires you've been reaching out for. And I believe that being part of our tribe will help you in different aspects of your life. So with your permission, I just want to tell you about how you could continue to be part of our community. As Layla said, this is the very first workshop, so we are honoured and delighted that those of you who are on the live call with us have chosen to be here. And if you're listening to the recording or watching the recording, then thank you for taking time out to have a look at what we're doing. So I'm going to talk to you about the ways that we will be working with our members. We have, we have other workshops, as Layla has given you the overview, coming up. Now you can actually book into those workshops individually. There will be £75 per session, and that will include a clarity call, resource sheets, and post-event recordings. But what we actually want to do is to ensure that this journey of discovering you is actually affordable and accessible. So we've come up with a fantastic way for you to get a lot of information at a very affordable price. Oh, sorry. Go the right way. All right, so we have some fantastic bonuses available, and it does start with the book that Susie has written. It's called Just Be You, You Are Enough. So that's fantastic. And what I'm going to tell you now is that the total value of all the bonuses that we've put together will equate to over £300, nearly £400. So let's see how that breaks down. So as I said, you will get Susie's book. You will get recordings of all 6 workshops. So obviously you saw from the timetable that the workshops are going to happen throughout the year. So you will get a recording after each workshop. And then at the end of the year, what we'll do is we'll take the best bits of all of the workshops and we'll put it all together, so you actually get a compilation of the Discovering You series as well. You will be invited to the group coaching and accountability sessions, and that's the clarity package. And there is also some additional things that happen within that, which we will share with you when you come into the membership. We're very excited about a new format. We're calling it a Divine Cuppa. It will happen weekly. We're still working out the format, but it'll probably be on Zoom. It will definitely be a question and answer, so don't worry if you can't make the live call, it's not a problem. You will put your questions into the membership area, we'll discuss them, but that's going to be a very exciting event. We're going to have guest speakers, there's going to be a lot happening there, so we want you to be part of that. We've got the speaker panel coming up, and what we've decided to do is make sure that we're interviewing the guest speakers and workshop contributors. Now, the information that will come out of those sessions won't be available anywhere else on the internet. And this is because we will actually work with our members to ensure that we're getting the questions that you want answered. And finally, we have the Emotional Fitness, which is a 1-month free trial with Denise and Susie. You'll be getting that as part of the deal. So we can see that the total value of the bonuses is £378. What we've decided to do is we've put together a Raise Your Vibration package where you will get everything that I've spoken about, but when you come back onto the workshop as an online session, we're going to have breakout rooms, and that means that you can really interact with the guest speakers. Now, We've got a great deal here where everything is going to be available to you for only £295. You can do this in 2 payments. So it will be one payment of £147. And if we receive the payment by next Monday before 11 o'clock, there's an extra bonus waiting for you. And then all we ask is that the second payment is made by Saturday, the 18th of September. So how do you purchase the membership? Layla's going to put the link into the chat area, and you will come to the website, which is my website. So I've just taken a screenshot of what the page looks like. You'll come to a page called Discovering You, Raise Your Vibration Membership. And at the bottom, you can see the 2 options for the payment. You can either pay in full or pay your first instalment. But the final bonus, which, you know, it came to me today, I work with Source Energy, and this was the inspiration that came and said, you know, let's say thank you to the attendees and those who are going to listen over the next few days, who really say, do you know what, I like their style, I love what they're doing. At the end of the day, what we're saying to you is you're not broken, but knowledge is power, and we've got a lot to offer you. The world is changing, and you're going to need to be equipped in so many different areas. So the final bonus, which closes at 11 o'clock on Monday, it's worth £49, and it is the consistency package of the coaching group. But in this, you will get a one-to-one coaching session, and that's with myself. So if you wanted to ask me any areas which are about sovereignty, which is about actually, you know, the identity that maybe you're finding yourself as we step into this new world, we'll pick that up in that session. And it also, you get a private WhatsApp group where you get daily motivational tips and articles. So don't forget that that opportunity will be closing on Monday. And with the added value, the total of the bonuses now is £427. So it's a fantastic deal that we've put together at only £295. Thank you so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here today. This is definitely something that has been created with love, care and attention. We've been working with this since December of last year. So the fact that we're finally here and that, you know, we have manifested this reality is an absolute joy. So I'm so grateful that you have all decided to be here with us today. And yeah, that's it from us. So if you wanted to unmute yourself, you know, if you've got any questions for us, you know, let's have a conversation.
I'll unmute.
There's always that silence while everybody finds the button. Well, we did it, Denise. Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. It's so good to have it out there and actually see it happen. And
we've launched.
It feels good going forward. Just like you said, the world is changing, and everyone needs to kind of see it as opposed to react to when it does. I think that's what I've done in the past with a lot of things. Like, this is like a really silly example, but I remember my car got broken into when I first got a car when I was like 18, no, it's like 20. And I got my car alarm after it got broken into. And I was like, why didn't I get it before? And it never got broken into after that. So it was just like, we know things are happening. It's been happening for a year. And if you don't know what's going on, then you need to start seeing what is actually going on, and learn about what you need to know, because it is shifting, and we're coming into a place where there's going to be more control. There's going to be like limited movement, and lots of coercion is happening right now through, it's almost like cat and mouse at the moment.
There's a lot of games that have been played over the centuries, and you mentioned it last night, Denise, about when somebody actually creates a problem and then sells you the solution. And this is the time that we're living in, but there is remedy, and it all starts with you actually comprehending and finding solutions to regain your sovereignty and take your power back. Don't give it away to anybody. It's so precious. It was God-given, remember.
And I love that, you know, a big reason that this is called Create Your Own World is the way they've been able to manifest the reality where we all just comply and acquiesce and go along is because we're the ones with the creative powers. Without our willingness to go along with it, even though we were deceived and didn't quite know, if it wasn't for our energy going into that, it wouldn't have been created. So in knowing that that is the power behind it, we can take that back and, you know, fair enough, they may wish to bring in control, they may wish to bring in this or that, but what are we going to create for ourselves? You know, if we come together, if we focus in a certain way, if we envision and work towards what we wish to create, anything is possible. So that's what excites me, that it isn't fixed, it isn't, you know, the end of the line.
Well, to be fair,
we're just opening.
to be fair, Layla, you've just reminded me, I took a slide out which was entitled People Power, because I thought, oh, am I saying too much on the first time? But the People Power slide was going to actually give the overview of what's happening behind the scenes. So people can only see what's presented. So I don't watch television, as you know, because it's telling lies visually and it's programming, and I'm just not into it. And I know that I've been told that the news has only reported on certain things. So like when demonstrations have happened, when big protests have happened in London, for example, I didn't attend. Denise was at the last one, but I didn't attend. So I've seen raw footage of the amount of people that were there, but then it's been reported in the news, like not this one, but I know ones that were happening last year. Oh, a few hundred people gathered in London. So, you know, there's so much happening, but people power is very, very real. But the only way we are going to break this is when we say no. When we say we're not, the best way, or the only way you can win the game is not to play it. And we do that collectively by coming together, by being united and say we're standing in our collective sovereignty in divine love, and we're not shifting. We do not consent. And I did make up a silly song about that, but the words were very true.
Saying that, Vanessa,
we want the song.
Oh no, I'm not the singer. We'll bring singers in.
But I just wanted to add that, you know, for anybody that's come on and for like us, for what we're doing is the thing that nobody likes change, do they? And we've had to do that in the last year. But what you're doing here, Vanessa, is giving people an opening to evolve and grow, which we never hardly talk about. People are so negative, and I know our bias can be negative, but if you take away the equation of half the stuff that we've mentioned, you know, you're coming back to your truth, and that's what we want people to be, and that's what's hidden from our society, because oh my gosh, can you imagine everybody being powerful, standing in their power? Oh, wow. Oh God, we can't have that, can we? But we do, we want it. And that's the difference. When you champion people and put your arm around them and let them know, here, come this way. We can support you. We can guide you. Why? Why would you not want to have that? But we only know that because we know we've been fighting on our own little experience. And that's why we've been able to collaborate with such great people and bring this essence to others to let them know, do you know what? We're here to help you grow and evolve. We're not here to dampen anything, because it's not about that.
Yeah, and I love you've said the word collaborate. You know, all of this has been created in this online environment. So, you know, I feel quite tearful now, but powerful women I've been connected with, so Layla, Denise and Susie, we haven't met in the actual physical reality. It's been done online, but every time we've connected, I've felt the love, I've felt supported as a creator, and my world, you have made a difference to my world. going through this year and going through all the emotions that we've had to face. So I give thanks that I've connected with you and we've been brought together.
I think it's amazing. I think what you wanted to create and do, we've got to believe that we can do it. And you know, in this broken down kind of society that we live in, and people's belief and trust is dampening. And you know, this is it, Vanessa. This is, you know, belief, trust. Just take it one step at a time. Nothing's huge. There's nothing big that you have to do. You just have to get back to being you, believing and trusting in you, and let that power really, really sink in, because we can do it. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Well, we've done it.
I want to say ditto, you know, Vanessa, just to be with such wonderful people. It's amazing. It makes a huge difference, and just having people that you can connect to and relate to and that understand and don't think you're crazy. It's sort of,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, I don't want to be normal, but you know,
Yeah.
at least there's more of us out there.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, what Susie was just saying there, and it's something that I know we keep mentioning and touching on again and again, but it's that courage. It is that actual courage to take a stand. I mean, you know, I've been in relationships which it's only at the point where you stand up and say, no, you know, enough is enough, I'm not going along with this anymore, that it stops. And it's actually quite surprising the effect it has in just you saying no. We always dream up the worst case scenarios. Oh, but if I do that, then this could happen, or that could happen, or, you know, that bus is coming, or, you know, it rarely happens. We're just dreaming up all those worst case scenarios, you know. What about if the best happens? Expect the best.
Yeah.
Layla, yeah, I just want to say, Layla, on that, when you talk about truth, you know you're not walking in your truth, and you're hurting yourself even more, because if you keep saying yes, 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 you're abandoning your truth, you're rejecting yourself, and that's not what we're here to do. And it takes us time, it takes us these experiences, and that's why I go on about emotions and cry. If you need to cry, just let it out. It's the best way, you know. But truly and honestly, if you're not walking and talking your truth, that's when you suffer more with your thoughts, with your thinking, we know it, we've been there. But I think because we're so passionate and we know about it, we want to let people know that this is the opening for, you know, a new way of thinking, a new way of how you see your life, that you can create it, you know.
I think that was the biggest part of it was almost like a grieving process for me when I first started through this, because it's that realization that it's not anyone else that's treating me terribly. It's me that's treating myself. It's me that's not respecting myself. It's me that's not standing up for myself, because if I was doing that, no one would have that opportunity to do otherwise. And it was kind of like, you know, I'd have those conversations where, well, I'm obviously not creating this for myself, you know, I'm not going to, you know, want this for me, but I was just because I didn't value myself enough.
I agree.
And it really was a grieving process. You go through, it is the stages of sort of frustration, anger, denial, and it's like, oh my goodness, then the realization hits, it's me, it's me. And that's where you take your power back there.
Take your power
because it's
back.
in that, it's like, right, well, I can change it then. If it's me, I could do something.
Well, we have to stand in our sovereignty and be our authentic self at all times. So on that note, I'm going to wrap up this call. It's been an absolute pleasure. You know, from the thought that I had to where we are now, the manifestation, it's mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. So for those of you who have been on the call, thank you so much, Ella. Thank you. You know, you are blessed, and stay strong, stay positive, stay connected, and we can't wait to be working with you closely. Good night, or good afternoon, because I haven't slept properly. And we'll see you soon.